This is your monthly update, the 3 Ps, personal, professional, political, of all things me and city of Aspen. This one I am doing differently. We're testing this out. This one is entirely off the cuff. And the first P is professional. This month, I kicked off a pre-seed fundraise for a side hustle I've been sort of quietly working on called the Elected Leaders Collective. Now, the Elected Leaders Collective is a company at the intersection of politics and mental health. Our mission is to heal our politics. I have been quietly working with about 83 elected leaders from across the country. We want to resource ourselves so we can bring change to our community and change the system. That's what the project is all about. The pre-seed round is going to allow us to launch a Halo program to bring in 12 to 15 of some of the most promising elected leaders from across the country, give them a deep dive, a distilled version really of 15 years of my own self-development in 1 year to provide for them the most meaningful experience of their life in leadership. Launch a Pride program to develop community, and then take those products out not just to other elected leaders, but to staffers, administrators, really everybody in the public space to define product market fit. And if you're interested, this is the time. It's an amazing opportunity. It is a huge market opportunity. There is no one in this space, and it is a huge heart opportunity because our politics need healing. The second P, political. This much. That's how much has gone on politically in the last month. We will not get to it all, but I'm going to give you the highlights. We're talking about mental health, so let's start there. Psychedelic-assisted therapies. Psychedelics are proving to be breakthroughs in so many areas of mental health that we struggle with. Suicidality, addiction, depression. You should not have to go out of the country for the right to heal. You should be able to do that safely right here at home. There's a group of 30 people that have put that out. It's called Right to Heal Aspen, safely. And they are circulating a petition right now. It has been officially accepted by the city attorney. You sign that, it goes on the ballot, and we will have a model first for any municipality in the country to do this important healing work.
What's happening in housing right now, Skippy?
A lot is happening in housing right now. We adopted our first strategic plan this month, which basically is the collection. It's a multi-page document that will guide our housing delivery for the next 20 years. It calls out our first actual quantifiable goal, which is 500 units over the next 4 years. It's not quite enough to get us where we need to go by 2040, but it's pretty damn close. And it doesn't even account for what I think will deliver more housing than anything else, which is the new development neutral model. Under there, it has all the other stuff. So the normal development stuff like the Lumberyard, like Burlingame 3, but it also has all the code work that's going on during the Moratorium. So changing the land use code to allow for basically more density, bigger buildings, so that a private developer can create more affordable housing on one lot, realizing a profit, which means that there's actually a reason for them to build it so that they can go out and build something rather than, our tax dollars having to fund that, which basically means it's never going to happen on time.
Speaking of the moratorium, give us an update there.
So the update is when I said we were on time last month, we're not now. We're 2 months back. We do think we're going to finish by that time frame. The work's going really well. Really, there are thousands of community members who have been involved in some way. Staff has been working overtime, and the stuff that's emerging around short-term rentals, around the land use code, around our landfill, around affordable housing are really meaningful, and they're going to make huge changes. And unfortunately, it's just taken a bit more time than we expected.
All these things take time, but what do you want Aspen to know for the short term? What can we hope for? What can we rely on? What can we anticipate for the next year or two with housing and moratorium?
What you can rely on for the next 2 years is that you have leadership deeply committed to solving this problem, that is aware that this is maybe the most challenging moment we've ever been in, and is really rising to that challenge. I can't tell you if we're going to get there or not. I really can't. But I know that there is not a 7,000 person community in this world. I don't know that. I think that. Who knows? That has the concentration of intellect, heart, care, and experience to rise to the challenge. So the Lumberyard is moving forward to what we consider 100% schematic, which is sort of the final thing. I will say, and this is just my perspective, from where we were at the last meeting, it is getting substantially better. The integration with transit, for instance, is like leaps and bounds better than it was. And we're really planning for a car-free or car-less corridor in the future, which will be really important. Quality of life, unit design, those things are improving. I still think that there is not nearly enough density there. I'm concerned that we are not delivering the housing that we critically need in the area where we have the most control over it. And I understand that even in the best case scenario, the housing that we need is going to be 5 to 7% at the Lumberyard. And frankly, there are other areas of focus where we can deliver a lot more housing, a lot more effectively. And so I'm sort of trusting in the hive mind of the group, that we're really building a quality product for community in the long term that will be in balance with the rest of our needs. APCHA, the scoop, chocolate vanilla swirl, bubble gum, all kinds of ice cream at APCHA. It's not true, we don't have ice cream at APCHA. The scoop is we just got our third home trek report, which is like bringing data, actual information into the program. We're now starting to be able to see trends over time. We're starting to understand what do move out patterns look like? What does retirement really look like? Does everyone retire in their unit, or do 50% of people move to Florida, right? We're starting to figure that out. We also just got our first compliance report, which is amazing, because there is concern in the community that the most valuable resource we have is being underutilized in some way. And so now we're seeing there's 69 active cases open. That's not, we're out there persecuting people, but it is out there saying like, hey, there's a particular way this is supposed to run. It needs to be fair, it needs to be equitable, and we're on it. And that's publicly available for the first time. The 420 meeting, there's nothing behind that, it's just funny. If you look that up, both of those reports are in there and you can view them all.
Amazing.
Yep. All right, the last P of the day. It is the personal. The personal, this is for me. What's been going on in my life? Well, my housing crisis has been resolved, at least for the next 2 years, and thank God for that. Jamie and I were lucky enough to find a place, so hard to do. And after 2.5 years of living in 320 square feet with really no natural light in quarantine, it is a breath of fresh air. And I'm so grateful that we were able to find this, and I'm working my butt off to make sure you can too. And secondly, we went to Sedona for a family reunion, which I was joking before I went was actually a family union, because I hadn't really met many of these people. But my grandma passed away, I guess not that recently now, a year plus. And she was kind of the last glue of the family. And, we haven't always been really close, but it's a big intention for me in this year to start to heal that in myself and to rebuild some of those relationships. And I know my mom is real eager too, because with my grandma gone. And so we went to this reunion and kind of all the extended family came out, and we started with the ceremony on this Stargate that our cousin has down in Sedona, that he built and has done thousands of ceremonies of all types of Native American tribes from the region that he works with, traditional monotheistic religions. And it was just this really special, grounded place. Jamie got to come, and we just had an awesome time. It was as close to family as I felt in a while. And for that, I am so grateful. Yeah. So those are the 3 Ps today, guys. I know that's 6, but if you divide them by 2, there you are. I promised you 3 of these, and this is the third. It's meaningful and important to me to keep you involved, to bring you into my life, and I need to know if you care. I need to know if you want these, if you want to see them and what works for you. There's a 2-minute or less survey below. Please take it. If you don't take it, I'm going to assume that this does not matter to you, and I'm likely to stop. Not a threat, just a reality. Okay, big love. I will maybe see you next month. We love you, peace.